Hi everyone, my name's Elizabeth, I'm a marine biologist and welcome to another Sealife Sketchbook session where I am drawing my way through rock-pooling creatures, showing you footage and telling you the weird and wonderful facts about the ocean's wackiest creatures. For today's video we are going way back, way back, right back to the start of Marine Mumbles, to the fourth ever video, right back when I thought I'd only be posting time-lapse art videos and species clips, to a special species that caught my eye, because today we are discussing one of the ocean's prettiest flowers. Before we begin, I just wanted to say that we're no longer a YouTube site that does just species clips and time-lapse art. I am a YouTuber that produces great marine content. I hope to educate you on the weird and wacky marine life and to explore the UK's greatest rock pooling sites, and hopefully along the way I am always entertaining. So if that sounds like something that is your cup of tea, then don't forget to subscribe and like this video to support me and my channel. Now, as you can see, I'm a big fan of Alice in Wonderland. Really big fan. So being a big fan of Alice in Wonderland and being a big fan of, well, rock pooling, that's what this channel is all about, I suppose there's not very many chances for those two things to overlap, and I haven't seen a dodo or a walrus on a beach in a very long time. But in today's video they kind of do, because this species is not only named after a flower, but acts in a way that really reminds me of a very specific scene in Alice in Wonderland. Today we are talking about the rosy feathered star. The rosy feathered star is a great find. It is a really bizarre and almost alien-like species, but on one hand, but on the other hand, it's this pretty delicate and incredible species. Now, it is an echinoderm, so its best friends and cousins are things like starfish, brittle stars and urchins, and unlike those species that have their stomachs on the bottom of their body, these feather stars actually have a frontward facing mouth, so they bring the food right down to the centre of its body where it eats. Watching these species feed is almost mesmerising to see. They're just very gracious and gorgeous creatures to watch, which is why I think it's such a great find to see and why it inspired one of my first species clips to be uploaded. But why does this remind me of Alice in Wonderland? Well, in Alice in Wonderland, when she is very small, she meets some rather sassy and judgmental flowers. Now, you might think that, okay, it's called a rosy feather star, and actually a really kind of closely linked group of crinoids, I think they're called crinoids, whatever they are. Feather stars are in a group called crinoids, which also includes sea lilies. Again, another thing that looks almost very similar to a feather star and reminds people of flowers. But you could say like things like anemones look a bit more like flowers, or, you know, do they really look that much like a flower? Why is Alice in Wonderland popping in my head, except for the fact that kind of always there anyway? It's because these animals actually act a lot like those flowers, because they're not just like your regular rock pooling species. These guys aren't just popping on a rock when it's young and staying there forever. They're not like the regular old Joes of the rocky shore, the barnacles or the seaweeds. They can actually move. Yep, move. Pretty well. They can find a great place to settle and a great place to have food, but if a predator comes along or the food's kind of drying up and not that great, they can basically hop off and swim away. They literally swim like this, so if you want to practice your dance moves, then this is the species to practice with, and they can actually swim off pretty well and find a new spot. Now, to reattach to that new spot, they have an adapted appendage on the bottom, so this is the feathery starfish, and right on the bottom is a thing called the claw, which it can use to reattach to rocks and find a better position. That means if they want to be nosy and judgmental, just like the flowers in Alice in Wonderland, well, they can all sit together and have a good old gossip. And that's kind of why this species links in my head so much with those flowers in Alice in Wonderland. Now, you might not be a bit of a crazy fan of Alice in Wonderland like I am, also a fan of tea. It all just works very well together, and I collect caps, which are hats, just... Anyway, a bit too much of an insight there, probably don't care, but if you don't like Alice in Wonderland, like me, I hope you find these species just incredible in their own right. They are really incredible, but if I haven't quite sold you yet on their amazingness, then let me tell you another fact which will hopefully get you more interested. Like in some of my other videos where I have talked about fossils, these guys are also described as living fossils. They're basically called living fossils because they have been around, this group of species, for more than 480 million years. Right now, on this earth, right now, there are 600 species of feather stars that we know of. But in comparison to what they were like in prehistoric times, apparently that is a very small slither that have, continued to live and survive. Because there are absolutely tons of fossil finds of these feather stars way back through prehistoric history. In fact, they featured quite a lot as just kind of amazing background drawings in my Posca pen painting of prehistoric marine life, which you can check out here and I will link below. And that's because they feature in a lot of prehistoric artwork too, because they just seem to be something that were always going to be around and really prevalent. So unless the next Jurassic Park film has feather stars in, I'm not watching it. So if you want to find feather stars for yourself, you can mainly find them on the west coast of the UK. The species you see here is one that's found a bit more in the south, and you can also find a more northern species further up in the north. These guys can't really dry out, so you're only ever going to find them right at the low shore and usually in a rock pool that never really drains, so that they're always underwater. If you're a diver, you can also find them down to about 30 litres. Have it, another Sealife Sketchbook session. This is a series where I am drawing my way basically through the Rockpooling world, so if you like this video, go check out my playlist. There are tons of other weird and wacky species for you to find out about. Again, subscribe and like, and make sure to comment below the Rockpooling species you want to see me draw in the future, because that helps basically convince the world and YouTube to keep sharing my videos, and I want as many people to find out about the weird and wacky feather stars as possible. And it's a great way to support my channel. I will see you back next week with another great video. I also have a secret video coming out on Friday, but I will pretty much see you next Wednesday as well. Have a great week till then, everyone. Stay safe, bye.